Hello, everybody. It is September 3rd, and there is a lot of news to get to. Ted Wheeler accuses Trump of playing politics. Nancy's haircut becomes a scandal. Trump threatens to cut off funding to cities that defund their police, and Andrew Cuomo threatens the president. We've got a lot to get to today, so let's get started. I'm BJ, and this is BJ Does. Ted Wheeler sends out a letter to Donald Trump basically stating that he's playing politics with the people of Portland because Donald Trump put out a letter stating that he was not going to give federal funding, or at least send it over to the DOJ and Department of Homeland Security to find out how they could stop giving federal funding to anarchist states. And here's the statement from Donald Trump. He's sending a letter to DHS and DOJ trying to figure out if these governors and these mayors are going to defund their police, if they are going to not arrest people who are destroying cities. He doesn't want to give any federal funding to these cities. And I think that a lot of people in this country are standing up right now and cheering. If you wanted to fund the police, well, then you don't need any money for the police, do you? Mayor Ted Wheeler's statement on Twitter is, I joined Mayor Jenny, Mayor Bowser, and New York City Mayor to issue the joint statement in response to President Donald Trump's threatening to revoke federal funding from cities. How about this? How about this? How about this? Get your cities under control. Stop capitulating to the mob and allow the police to do what they have to do to stop people from running through the streets and destroying things. These mayors are feckless. They're feckless. They have no authority in their own cities. If they would have just allowed the police to do their jobs, stop all of the violence, and stop it with this narrative that they are just peaceful protesters. Because you know what? Peaceful protesters don't burn shit down. They don't burn shit down. Mayor Wheeler has got to be, I don't know, it might be a tie between Mayor Wheeler and Mayor de Blasio for the worst mayor in America. It might be a tie. Mayor Jenny Durkin, very, very close second. Very close second. She allowed the chop and the chaz to happen. But she still allowed her police to go in and clear them all out when they tried to, they went to her house and tried to burn it down. So she might be just a little bit better than Mayor de Blasio and Mayor Wheeler. Might be.
I'm freaking out, man.
So yesterday, Donald Trump goes ahead and tells the federal authorities to deputize the state police, which goes right around all of these mayors, so that when they pick up an anarchist, when they pick up Antifa, when they pick up Black Lives Matter, they can go ahead and charge them federally, so they don't have to go to the local courthouse or they don't have to go to the local magistrate and have these people just walk them right out the door. Like I said yesterday, if it was you and me, if we were out there with a Trump sign and Antifa punches us in the face and we're defending ourselves, they will take us to jail. They have no qualms about taking us to jail. The Proud Boys, when the Proud Boys go to Portland, if anything happens, they're going to go to jail and the anarchists are going to walk out the door. They have picked sides. They've picked sides. They want a revolution. These mayors are doing it because they want the strife. They want the violence. They want the revolution, or at least that's how it seems. America today, no matter what you do, if you're a Trump supporter or if you're even Donald Trump, everything you do is wrong. They have to oppose you on everything. The president says something, they have to oppose it. If they don't oppose it, they're not placating the left. You see how that works? See how that goes? They need to placate the left. They need that radical revolutionary side to get their agenda in action. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, his campaign is now trying to prop him up as the law and order candidate. This is why all of these strange tweets have been coming out and saying, do you think that it's going to be less violent in Donald Trump's America? They're still kind of operating on the assumption that it was this right wing radical patriot prayer guy that shot the poor innocent Antifa member, the poor innocent Black Lives Matter protester. Okay? Not the way it happened. They're putting out this narrative that they're now going to go after the right wing groups. You show Ted Wheeler has already said it. The Proud Boys are not allowed in Portland. Do you realize a lot of them live in Portland?
Symbolic of his struggle against reality.
So Joe Biden is trying to prop himself up as the law and order candidate. We're going to go after these right-wing groups. We're going to go after these terrorists. And the left will applaud him. They won't do anything about the violence that Antifa and Black Lives Matter is causing. They're not going to do anything about that.
All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
But they're going to go after the Proud Boys. They're going to go after Patriot Prayer. Kamala Harris has already said, if you're a Trump supporter, we're coming after you. They're trying to bring in the center left. I don't think it's going to work. You can't, for 100 days, allow people to riot and loot and pillage and kill, and then come out and say, you're going to be the law and order candidate because in Donald Trump's America, it's not safe. Well, no. No, in Donald Trump's America, pretty safe. In Democrat-led cities that are trying to bring about a revolution and trying to placate the left and give them everything that they want, that's what's not safe. We're running towards destruction at this point. And what's Andrew Cuomo's response to Donald Trump threatening to cut off funding for police for cities and states that try to defund or abolish completely their police departments? Well, Andrew Cuomo says that Donald Trump better not be caught on the streets of New York because he'll need an army. Well, first of all, he's already got an army, you moron. And he's got Secret Service. He's the president of the United States. Is New York no longer a member of the U.S.? Is it no longer a state inside of the United States? That is the craziest thing I have ever heard. And he threatened the president of the United States. If I was Donald Trump, I would send the Secret Service to go have a talk with him. because they did the same thing to Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent said, "Suck on this, Barack Obama," and he was holding a machine gun, and the Secret Service went to have a talk with him. You remember that? A governor of the state of New York threatened the president of the United States. He will not admit that these are violent protests. Mayor de Blasio will not admit that these are violent protests. He puts a big Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Tower, by the way, with taxpayer dollars, and it didn't go through the city council, so he just did it himself, which is probably illegal. And then when Blue Lives Matter come along and say, "Wait a minute, we want our own mural. We'll go ahead and pay for the permit to put it there." He quietly paints over the Black Lives Matter mural because he knew he'd messed up. Blue Lives Matter is now suing him in court for that one. But let's get to Nancy Pelosi's haircut, because this one is really interesting.
We will be playing the video on loop for all of you to see during the duration of this introduction. Nancy Pelosi was not in the halls of Congress when I asked where she was. She was not working in good faith to make a deal for the American people. Nope, Nancy Pelosi was found in San Francisco at a hair salon where she was indoors, even though salons in California are not only open for outdoor service. Apparently, the rules do not apply to Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
So there you go. Nancy Pelosi accuses the president of trying to kill people by trying to open everything up. And Nancy Pelosi goes and gets a haircut when everything is supposed to be shut down in San Francisco. They want the economy to keep getting worse, even though the death rates and the infection rates have dropped off. And when she was confronted about these allegations, she strangely accused the shop owner of setting her up. These people cannot take responsibility for themselves or anything that goes on around them. I've never seen such flagrant disregard for the American people from the left. And somehow, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to go out here in the next few weeks and prop themselves up as the law and order candidates.
They're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
You realize that all of the crime legislation that Black Lives Matter complains about were proposed, put in the well, voted on, and passed by Joe Biden. Joe Biden worked his butt off to get that legislation passed. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General in California. There was a person of color, of the African persuasion, who was coming up on the end of his, he was trying to get an appeal because they found new evidence in the case, DNA evidence in the case, that would exonerate him. You know, Kamala Harris actually denied his appeal. That's sick. That is sick. You find new evidence in a case that exonerates you. The guy had already been in prison forever. You find evidence that exonerates you, and Kamala Harris says, no. Yeah, we don't care if you're innocent. Go on back to jail. Kamala Harris was extending people's sentences for nonviolent drug offenses because she needed the workforce in the prisons. Again, sick. That is a sick, sick thing to do. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the worst of the worst. And when all of these riots started, Kamala Harris put out a PSA saying, send money to the bail funds for all of these rioters because we're in solidarity. You know that Joe Biden's staff were actually participating in this? They were actually sending money to the bail funds for all of these people that were burning buildings out. They want the revolution. They want their ideology to be the only ideology in the United States. And the only reason that these people are propping up Joe Biden is because they're hoping that one day he'll kick off and Kamala Harris will be the president of the United States. Because Joe, he's rambling. He's rambling. He can't even do interviews. How is he going to hold up in a debate with Donald Trump? Oh, wait a minute. They're starting to say now that we shouldn't have a debate for fears of COVID. Oh, okay. All right. The left is panicking right now. The left is panicking. They don't know what to do. The polls are showing that people don't like all of this rioting and looting. So what do they try to do? They try to twist the narrative and say, well, all of the people that are out there, creating violence are a bunch of right-wing thugs, a bunch of right-wing idiots. And what? Oh my, we're going to be the candidates of law and order in Donald Trump's America. Look at all this violence going on, all these right-wing agitators. The people are on to you. The people are on to you. And the more voices that we have out there putting this stuff out, and I don't care if Facebook takes you down. I don't care if Twitter takes you down. Hell, I don't even care if YouTube takes me down for saying it, but it needs to be said. It needs to be said. These people are crazy. I'm going to leave it there. You all have a good day. Go to shamarisdyer.com. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Share this video with your friends because we have to get this stuff out. We have to let the world know what the hell is going on. And this is the best way to do it. So you guys have a good day. Stay safe. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow.